Mihinkä taidenäyttelyyn tämän voi lähettää?
Welcome to another episode of Renovation in Finland. Luckily, not all of our workdays are dark as that.
Ei sillä kuin 10. Näytti kylmemmältä.
While the winter is tightening its grip, our work here on the plot continues. We're living the darkest time of the year, which means that we only see our plot in daylight during the weekends.
Täppä se jotenkin sun. Ehkä sen takia, kun se ei ole näy tuolla kuopassa.
Luonnollisesti kaikki somessa julkaisevat itsestään kuvia.
Melko hiljasta.
The small gravel road that leads to this plot is amazing. With all the hills and the fields surrounding it, it feels like we're landing in a dream valley every time we arrive here. I can't stop admiring these views. We have owned this plot for over 2 years, and I still haven't gotten used to this view. It really seems just like a painting of my dreams. Sadly, every time we're here watching this view, there's a thought in the back of our heads that we're not here to relax, but we're here to work. And this day especially is gonna be extra hard. Whenever we're getting close to finishing a task, I feel like it's easier to get it done quicker if we set up a deadline for ourselves. And of course, deadlines work best when you need to get a nasty job done. We were determined that this will be the last day of shoveling gravel for this winter. And today we'd be here for as long as it takes to get the job done. In the last video I told that we finished building the pillars for the floors, and now it was time to cover them with insulation boards. All those boards needed to be covered with gravel, which is a huge job for us 2 persons. As you might remember that the easiest entrance to our house is still from under it. So this is how we moved almost a full dump truck load of gravel from our yard. But it saves us a lot of costs when we do this manually. So that's what we'll have to do. I have a hard time having things unfinished when I'm close to the finish line. So I just try to push through, even if it gets very uncomfortable. I just think it's easier to suffer a lot on one day than to spread it out on lesser amounts to several days. That way I might have one sucky day, but the rest might be good, compared to having many sucky days in a row. But seeing myself doze off like this, I'm not sure if it's the smartest way to work. I don't know how many hours we carried the gravel here. But when the last bucket was poured, all I could do was vent out. I guess even the toughest jobs end someday. And for now, we're done shoveling. I came to show you a bit how it looks like in here right now. So as you can see from here, the ground level has risen quite a bit. So from here downwards there's 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 70 centimeters until there's the ground level. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Now actually it's easier to go over these doorways than crawl under, because the floor level has risen so much. I hope my head is not cut off, but I'm just trying to show how it looked a while ago and how it looks now. We had to do this because the insulation boards needed to cover the concrete slab, so that meant that the insulation boards were quite high and so on. So yeah, it escalated kind of. I'm not yet sure if we're gonna start from this room or the next, but either way the system is the same. So the next step is to get some beams here, and after that we're gonna start to level the other, like the next layer of beams this way and so on. I'm not yet sure if I'm gonna be able to show you in this video as we start finally building the floors that I have been talking about for so long. I'm happy to let you know that the floor building has begun, and I filmed the first day of building, but I accidentally emptied out my SD card with all of the videos in it. So check back next month to see more of the floor building.
We had a beautiful winter for a while, but now it seems like it's gonna start to melt. It's +1 degrees right now, and it's all slippery, and yeah, it's not very nice looking outside. We're getting close to the darkest time of the year, which means that we have about 5 hours of daylight. Yeah, I have Saturdays and Sundays off, so that's when I can come here and film during the daylight. So we finished the work with the foundations and the insulation boards, the horrible insulation boards. I hate working with them. I didn't even film anything because I feel ashamed that we even use those, because those are like a horrible material. And yeah, we're always so angry and pissed when we when we need to work with those. So there's not anything filmed of the time when I was working with the insulation boards, but they're there. We have been about 2 weeks. We have been away from the plot just to like rest a bit and loosen our nerves. I've actually had some days off, which meant that I was able to go for a walk and just try to relax a bit and actually do something that I have been dreaming a long time about, and that's seeing this old manor that I have been watching from a distance, not like in a creepy way, but in social media. It's called Nuutajärvi Kartano, so Nuutajärvi Manor, and they're doing a massive renovation or like restoration job there, yeah, I have been dreaming of seeing the place for months, and now I finally got a day off on the day when they were having a tour there, and it was so nice. I'm gonna show you a little of my trip.
My very own road trip. I can't explain how much these moments mean to me in the middle of all this stress. Driving without hurry. Taking the small roads. Letting my thought wander free and stopping for gorgeous views. And then taking a deep dive into history. I don't know why, but ever since I was a child, seeing old houses, remains of lives that were here before us, sends a peculiar vibration down my spine. This place was long forgotten by the previous owners. Even the beds were made, just waiting for the family to return for their yearly summer holidays. It felt so intact that I could almost see a brim of a dress from 200 years ago disappear around the corner, and hear the rustle of the newspaper with bright clinking of porcelain cups from the breakfast table. My appreciation for old houses is never ending. The houses, big or small, wealthy or poor, were something where often a person's whole life was carved in. And then one day, that life disappears. And all that's left is a faded picture hanging on a nail.
So yeah, the trip to the manor was so inspiring because I got reminded that the charm of the old house comes from all the stuff that's not quite perfect. And I think that's a very forgiving way to renovate and rebuild an old house. So we're in the heart of the winter right now. I think next week's Thursday or Friday is going to be the darkest day of the year, or the shortest day of the year, and after that it kind of starts speeding towards spring. The days get longer and longer and longer very quickly, but I always feel at this time that I'm not quite ready to give up on the dark and the cold and the everything yet, because I feel like I still need to rest and collect some energy to survive the spring and the summer. So yeah, but that's gonna take a long time until we're gonna have a spring. But it's getting cold, and I need to get going. I need to change my clothes still. We're gonna go to the city to see a dance show or a performance show. I don't know what you call it. They're gonna do the act or the performance that I did the song for a couple of years ago. I'll put a link somewhere here if you want to see the whole performance and hear the song. And yeah, we're gonna go out. And also, I have to say this one. We're gonna go and have a Christmas dinner at IKEA. This started as a joke 3 years ago. There's a habit in Finland that you go to have these Christmas buffets during December. It's served almost everywhere. And I really wanted to do that then, but we didn't have the money because they can be quite expensive. So then I found out that IKEA is actually serving Christmas buffet. So we went there as a joke, and the joke keeps going 3 years later. So I don't know why this became a habit, but it's yeah. So we're gonna go to the dance show and then we're gonna have a dinner at IKEA. So yeah.
This little break we had from the plot this December was very welcomed. Sometimes I lose myself in all the stress on the plot. And it seems like all my creativity has drowned under everything else. And I don't feel like myself at all. But after winding down a little, I realized that even though the creativity may seem lost, it's not gone for good. It just needs some time and space to blossom again. And so I've been making new music.
When the day is through, nothing overdue. I feel blue.
I wish you all a very creative 2024, and I'll see you again in January.